Hello, good evening, SM viewers. This is Satellite Media. If you are new to this channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and please do not forget to hit the notification bell. Mr. Chinedu Michael, it looks as if Nnamdi is a free man because we have seen a man who is bold enough to say, I will defend myself in court. In what looked like a surprise move, remember that he have gotten a new judge talking about Justice Omotosho, and Nnamdi is bid to face the judge eyeball to eyeball. And Nnamdi is going to be a free man very soon.
Yes, of course, it's going to be a free man indeed. That's the expectation of everybody around the world, considering the fact that the Nigerian government has not been able to establish any case against him. Forget that they moved from treason to felony to treason. I think they have been moving up and down in that regard. And the same thing is applicable to, of course, Simon Ekpa. I can tell you categorically clearly now that this pressure on Finland to determine the position of Simon Ekpa, considering the support, that is coming in from that, Western world, like Russia. A lot of people are mounting pressure around Alexander Stubb now to see what they are going to do in the aspect of liberating or freeing freedom government people who are agitating for their sovereignty, which is really the world is trying to look into that. And so much attention has been attracted to what is happening to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, or what is happening in Nigeria is regarding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has become, they have factored Nigeria into Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and every other thing is going towards that direction. If you look at how Nigeria got to the level where Nnamdi Kanu just started this agitation, this movement from just a plastic chair and a plastic table. That is all. If you look at the beginning of the whole thing, you discover that there's a lot of strength and divinity into what is happening. His appearance in the court today, I can tell you how many judges and how many times Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has appeared in court. And you can find out for yourself that at every point in time, he has always won every charge against him. The problem where everybody is looking at that attracted US delegates, up to 20 of them, the news is everywhere. The world is not joking. Nnamdi Kanu has built, carved an image for himself, has built an image for himself to the extent that he has become recognized. I think there's no other freedom fighter agitator in the world you can talk about now, currently now, that have made the requirement of the United Nations, that have shown resilience, they have shown confidence, they have shown integrity, they have shown that Biafra is achievable, that Biafra is passionate, Biafra has become a religion. He's so committed to it, and he's attracting a lot of followers. Nigerians, are beginning to buy into the concept of what the symbol of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is trying to portray. Even in the midst of uncertainty and danger, Nnamdi Kanu still summoned the courage to confront the Nigerian system over illegality. He said there's nobody that can judge him, there's no judge that can judge him. And saying that also, you can see all manner of judges that have been able to hear the matter, or try to engage themselves in the trial, or even trying to run a certain persecution or the other. They have all come to a particular point where they said nobody, they have seen this case as Nnamdi Kanu has always had an upper hand in that regard. So what you are seeing that is building at this moment now is a clear desire that the Biafra recognition has enveloped Nigeria completely. And how did it envelop Nigeria? What we saw Omotosho is going to do by tomorrow, or is doing now, currently now, has already been taken care of. And I can tell you, it has attracted the sympathy. You see, there's a way you maltreat people, there's a way you bring down people to an extent that, it will begin to attract sympathy globally. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is already attracting a global sympathy now.
Okay, now we understand that Nnamdi Kanu himself has said that he is not going to stand trial until there's an impartial judge to adjudicate the case he's having with federal government. You just mentioned it briefly that some American lawyers and soldiers are in Nigeria, perhaps ultimately to witness the proceeding. What do you think would have attracted them?
The fact is that there has been a global solidarity for Biafra recognition. You can see what is happening in Ireland. The IPOB is represented in all states of the federation, about 88 countries in the world, and Igbos are there. So the gathering and the network is being put before the U.S. Administration, of course, Donald Trump, who a lot of people believe that most of his cabinet members who are congressmen are actually pro-Biafran. On that regard, he has also, to an extent, enjoyed, unlimited relationship, with the first time Donald Trump came in as president. We saw GOP members surrounding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has played that support and of recognition to the issue of Biafra globally, and that is what the likes of Simon Ekpa, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, they are trying to follow that legacy. So at this point now, it's also on the table at the Oval Office under Donald Trump. So most of the lobbyists now are saying, no, let them come and have a first-hand, access of and be able to tell the story how these things are being going. And already the British, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have signaled that he's going to also make sure that delegates arrive, Israeli delegates arrive at Abuja, against today's happenings, and we might not know them, we might not see them. Those I can see that federal government are saying that there are strange forces, there are strange faces, and there might be international spy, or they may represent international interests and all that. But they are, no matter what they say, and specifically they made it very clearly they are coming to observe how this thing has come to a point that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being detained illegally without judgment. He's been detained illegally without pronouncement of any form of guilt or the other. Nnamdi Kanu has gone through the court processes and still they felt they are not going to receive him. It's going to be a clash, and already the Nigeria Bar Association and the African ECOWAS and the AU and other women blocs within the context of the African continent has already put James Omotosho, the judge, on the radar currently now. They are watching him, how he's going to make his pronouncement on tomorrow, or what he's going to do. Because if he's going to be hearing, there's not going to be trial. It's after hearing, then trial, whatever that's going to come at the end of the day. So, but he's not be able to ignite, the woto that's going to come from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu if he try to take the other way. Other judges, have taken in the past. There will be massive resistance, and that is what prompted the American government to send those delegates we are seeing today.
Because as it stands, we have seen the UN working group on arbitrary detention before now, asking the federal government to release Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally, and that didn't happen until we saw Court of Appeal in Nigeria ruling that Nnamdi Kanu was extraordinary rendition from Kenya to Nigeria. As such, he should be released unconditionally. But let me ask this question: are you satisfied with the level of intervention of UN?
No, not quite well. There has been clashes in that regard, but we know it's not something that is on the public glare or that should be put in the public space. The US government and the UK government are already interacting on the negotiations of what is going to happen when Nnamdi Kanu is being released, how the whole thing is going to look like, and they are fine-tuning that, analyzing that, will Nnamdi Kanu be flown abroad for medical treatment? After that, then what is the scope of recognition of the Biafra as a sovereignty? Nnamdi Kanu has already gotten Biafra, because he has gone through the process of United Nations, required by United Nations, and he has gone through that process, and he is able to maintain certain, pressure, attracting glory to himself and the Biafran quest. So whether United Nations comes in at this point or not, it depends on how the United Nations leadership perceive it. But what is important at this point is that the top countries of the world currently now, talking about America, talking about Russia, talking about Israel, talking about Germany, I'm excluding France because of the fractured relationship within the Sahel nation currently now. France might not be part of it. You can see the Russian pilot, what he said during the 1967 Nigeria Biafra War. What the ingenuity, why the world started to bring the Igbo movement called Biafra at that time down. And from that angle, now you begin to understand the build-up of what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has successfully been able to do. Thank God the world has recognized his presence, and the United Nations, the US too have also recognized his presence. Donald Trump has also recognized his presence, and I think you can see the kind of interactive and pressure and the situation that is coming from the United States government trying to focus on Africa, singling Nigeria completely out from other nations, and the issue of Boko Haram is a factor to disintegrate Nigeria. And that's what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stand for. His trial, we're saying today, is going to bring liberation for the oppressed.
I must say, very thank you for your time. This is a good place to let it go. We hope to have you next time.
As you can see, everything is said, and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is engaging Judge James Omotosho. What are you expecting when he said he is for hearing, not trial? Is the matter starting afresh?
Um, uh, Nnamdi Kanu is a very educated person, and he's someone that knows his rights, and he's someone that will always stand up to say whatever he feels. We saw the last time he took up papers, was showing the judge, I cannot be tried here, I cannot. This is not the right place for me to be tried and everything. So he's a kind of person that sometimes it is always good for as a human being to know your rights, to know where you stand, and for you to believe in a particular cause. He has always stood for his cause. He has not tried to waver. There might be some other things. See, there are many that we don't know, and that we know. So we always talk about what we know. When somebody that believes in his agitation, well, it is within his right to do that. So the court or the judge still keeping him to this time. Like I said, I want to see the rule of law being truly played out. Nobody should be above the law. The law should be above. In a normal country, like I said, if you want Nigeria to be a normal country, a country that everything works for every individual, it doesn't matter the tribe or religion or the political party, everybody should be under the ambit of the law of the land. So if the law says, for example, he is not guilty, then I think he should be set free. The law says let him go. I think personally he should be let go. You understand? Because like I always say about our country, Nigeria is a kind of country that the more you see, the less you know. The more you look, the less you see. So um, if you say, or if we say this man is right, and the judge said no, what can we do? Bita Yako is nowhere to be found. Another person has been assigned. Let him have a fair hearing. Let him have his right to defend himself. It is the court. Like I said, you are not a military government. You are still under this we call it democracy, even though if it's democracy I don't know. So let him have a day in court. Let him have this kind of a fair trial. Like I said, the world is watching. There are many that are watching Nigeria, not even about him. There are many other cases that people are watching. So let it be like, let us even pretend that we are practicing democracy. Let's pretend. Let's even do like, oh, we are part democracy, and then let us see what will come out from the case of Nnamdi Kanu. For a man that I've always believed in himself, we've seen many kind of different thought processes. Somebody even said that Nnamdi Kanu should accept is it contract from the government and then drop the Biafra agitation. We've seen many things, and he seems to believe or to stand on his own path. For example, we've not seen that support coming from the southeastern governors for him, or maybe the senators, maybe apart from maybe Nnamdi who have been speaking, others have refused to speak and everything. But look at what's happening. Go to the issue of the last time at the House of Assembly, House of Rep, where different zones have been included in this development commission. Only the southeastern were excluded. And they said nothing. And somebody's telling them, wait for the supplementary budget. You can imagine. So if that man is saying, well, we are tired, or we want to go, or this country is not working for us, it's only working for some people, then that makes sense. Ordinarily, it makes sense because the way the country is seems to be.
James Omotosho really strong enough or fit to engage in a high-profile case like this, considering his experience as a judge? Can he actually engage Mazi Nnamdi Kanu
And we don't know,
matter?
or we don't. It has not happened. Now it will happen. Like I said, we don't know. But from now, we are going to know his level of competence, his level of uh, his level of commitment,